Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, in the United States, President Trump's nominee for the Supreme Court has arrived on Capitol Hill for his first day of meetings with senators. Brett Kavanaugh's appointment would cement a conservative majority on the nation's highest court for a generation, and leading Democrats are vowing to fight it with everything we have. Danny Isdale is in Washington. Danny.
Well, Kathy, just as he'd promised social conservative and evangelist voters who helped get him to the White House in the first place, President Trump has delivered with a conservative nomination to the highest court in the land, the Supreme Court. Of course, in America, Congress makes the laws, the president, through federal agencies, implements and enforces the laws, but it's the Supreme Court that interprets the laws, which obviously has huge ramifications for everyday Americans. So the situation the US finds itself in now is that each of those three branches of government, which all have checks and balances of power on the others, well, they're all moving toward having conservative forces as majority or in control. So what's at stake when that happens? Well, critics of President Trump's choice of conservative Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court, they say what's at risk are fundamental rights that Americans enjoy right now. Chief among them, they fear, women's rights to choose to have an abortion.
Oh, yay, oh, yay, oh, yay. All persons having business before the Honorable, the Supreme Court of the United States are admonished to draw near and give their attention.
Life, yes. Abortion, no.
Healthcare, equality, reproductive rights.
Abortion rejects America's promise.
Deafeningly divisive in America and divisive on the Supreme Court bench, which has the final say on matters of the Constitution.
God save the United States and this honorable court.
It had been almost balanced between liberal and conservative ideologies, but now the scales of Lady Justice are poised to tip to the right, courtesy of President Donald Trump, who on this occasion did not exaggerate.
Other than matters of war and peace, this is the most important decision a president will make.
And this president makes such decisions reality TV style, choreographed with suspense at prime time.
Tonight, it is my honor and privilege to announce that I will nominate Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the United States Supreme Court.
Within minutes of the big reveal, conservative groups launched an advertising blitz selling their man.
Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh is the best of the best.
Brett Kavanaugh, former aide to George W. Bush, one-time investigator of Bill Clinton.
Strong and independent, he applies the Constitution just as it was written.
My judicial philosophy is straightforward. A judge must be independent and must interpret the law, not make the law.
Those interpretations impact many of the most important choices Americans make.
In a landmark ruling, the Supreme Court today legalized abortion.
In 1973, women's groups declared victory when the Supreme Court ruled in the case of Roe versus Wade that the decision to end a pregnancy during the first 3 months belongs to a woman and her doctor, not the government.
This allows a woman free choice as whether or not to remain pregnant. This is extraordinary.
That was 45 years ago, but clearly it's far from a settled matter. Here at the steps of the Supreme Court, anti-abortion and pro-choice protesters are chanting over each other. They're fighting to be heard. But both sides know only one group is going to be satisfied tonight with the outcome.
But neither side was surprised when Brett Kavanaugh's name was announced.
I expected it because Trump wants to win. And we voted him in, and he promised this, and he's carrying through on his promise of a pro-life Supreme Court justice.
Why is it so important to you that this, in particular, is a promise that he keeps?
Because presidents come and go, right? You can serve 2 terms here in the United States, and that's it, and you can't come back. But a Supreme Court justice, the average term is 20 years. In 2 decades, you can change the course of history for the United States.
What Tina is hoping for is what Jackie fears, that more Conservative justices could see Roe versus Wade overturned.
To me, this is a frightening country for my granddaughters to grow up into, and I can't believe the clock has turned back to where it was when my mother was a young woman and fighting these same issues.
More protests are planned, more clashes of beliefs, hostile and intense. So too will be the confirmation battle Brett Kavanaugh now faces on Capitol Hill.
Danny Estelle reporting there.